Now let's look at some examples that have variables on both sides of the equal sign. Again, our goal is to isolate the variable and have everything else on the other side of the equal sign. In the first example, 3x equals negative 5x minus 2. We want to combine those x's onto one side. If I move the 3x from the left to the right, I'll have nothing on this left-hand side. So instead, I'm going to combine this negative 5x to this 3x. To do that, I'm going to add 5x to both sides. When I add these together, I get 8x equals, this is going to cancel, negative 2. We're not quite ready to know what x is. We need to now divide by 8 on both sides. When I divide by 8, this will cancel. I'm left with x. And if I simplify this, I'll have negative 1/4. Now if I plug in negative 1/4 into my original equation, I should get a true statement in which the left and right sides will be equivalent. Let's go ahead and do that. So if I have 3 over 1 times negative 1/4, I'm trying to find if that's equivalent to negative 5x, or excuse me, 5 over 1 times negative 1/4 minus 2. When I multiply these together, I cannot cancel. So 3 times 1 is 3, 1 times 4 is 4, and remember this is a negative, so a negative 3/4. Again, I can't cancel over here, but note that I have a negative times a negative. That's going to be a positive 5/4 minus 2. Because I am subtracting, I am going to want to find a common denominator. So let me bring this over here so we have more room. And that 5/4 will stay the same. And I'm going to change that 2 into 2 over 1. And since I'm working with fourths, if I multiply both terms by 4, I can convert this to 8/4. So 5/4 minus 8/4 is going to give me a negative 3/4. So you can see that the left side equals the right side. Therefore, x equals negative 1/4 is the solution. Let's look at one other problem. Here we have 6y plus 1/2 equals 5y. I'm going to move this 6y to the right-hand side so that my y's will be on the right and my constant will be on the left. Because this is a positive 6y, I'm going to subtract 6y from both sides. I'm going to be left with a positive 1/2 equals a negative 1y, or just a negative y. Now, understand that we want to figure out what the value of y is, not a negative y. So because this is negative 1y, I'm going to subtract, or not subtract, divide by a negative 1, divide by a negative 1. That's going to eliminate this negative, and I'm going to be left with y. Now, what is 1/2 divided by a negative 1? Or if you want to write it, negative 1 over 1. That's going to be the same thing as negative, or 1/2 times negative 1. So 1/2 times negative 1, or 1 over 1. Positive times a negative is a negative, and any number other than 0 times 1 will give me that number. So my answer is going to be y equals negative 1/2. Now let's go ahead and plug that into the original equation to see if this is the solution. If I rewrite it as 6 times negative 1/2 plus 1/2, does that equal 5 times negative 1/2? I'm going to put a 1 under this 6 to make it a fraction, and then I'm going to reduce. 2 will go into 6 3 times. And I'm left with a negative 3. 3 times the negative 1 is negative 3. 1 times 1 is 1. And so negative 3 over 1 is a negative 3. Plus 1/2. And then for this problem here, I'm going to write 5 over 1. I can't reduce, so I just need to multiply across. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5 halves. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, so it looks like I have negative 3 plus 1/2. And is that equal to negative 5 halves? Well, in this case, we have a negative number and we're adding a positive number. So really we're going to subtract 3, take away 1/2 is going to be 2.5. And if you're not sure about that, if we go 3, we could do 3 over 1. Actually, let's do it this way. 3 over 1 minus 1/2. We can change this to halves. We make this 6 halves minus 1/2 gives us 5 halves. Now, because the larger number is a negative, this is going to be a negative 5 halves. And that's what we had here. Because both sides are the same, this y equals negative 1/2 is the solution.